got a computer. I could pick out the moon.
And what about your view from where you have
Well, I
your
got a really nice view. It's, you know, nice western horizon. But, you know, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said to begin, like say, let's use Ramadan for example. You know, fast when you see it and end it when you see it. And it didn't say anything about a telescope. Didn't say anything about binoculars or any other visual aids. So, in my mind, it was supposed to be easy for the common person to practice Islam. My telescope costs thousands of dollars. Most average people, you know, a lot of people who can't afford that to be able to see the moon. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the religion easy. Go out and look. So I refuse to use a telescope to sight for the halal purpose. I go out with the naked eye. If I see it, that's fine. If I don't see it, that's still fine. I'll check again the next day. And everybody else does the same thing. And I mean, if I use a telescope, I just really feel I'd be cheating. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's nice to look at stuff like that through a telescope because you can see so much detail in a halal that's really, you know, just because of the shadows and everything. It's really a fun thing to watch through a telescope. But when you're trying to do it in the service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to determine the months and everything, you know, the intention and the was for it to be, everybody's supposed to be on equal footing on this. All right, you know, Islam has everybody on an equal footing.
Right.
You know, everybody, you know, the majority of people were given two eyes, you know, to see by. So, you know, we go according to that aspect of it to do a naked eye set. And I know some people say it's okay to use a telescope, and I don't have any problem with that. And some people, you know, like say in Saudi, they use the Saudi Air Force and take the jets up. And, you know, they're going above the trash in the atmosphere. You know, when you go to mountains, I mean, you can see 50 more stars in an area that big that you couldn't see here in Richmond. Well, actually, I can see 50 more where I live at than here. Go to the mountains, 50 more in the area. So, like I said, aircraft, you know, yeah, you can cut out a lot of trash too. But, you know, during the time of Rasulullah, you know, they didn't have aircraft to do that. I'm not saying that that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the knowledge to create stuff, give us the knowledge to fly, you know, with His permission. And eventually, I think that we're going to actually go travel and see more creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in space, you know, which we are now. We're making baby steps toward it. Think about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the knowledge to make spacecraft, give us the knowledge of physics to utilize it and apply to that, and has also created a vacuum for us to travel in fast, because, you know, because those speeds need to be going fast. If it was an atmosphere, it would burn up. So, I mean, I try to bring all these things. This goes in with my astronomy thing. I had a cousin of mine who worked in mission control during Apollo 1 through Apollo 17, so I learned a lot during those years, too. That's what got me interested in it.
MashaAllah. But now we're here in the Islamic Society of Greater Richmond. Now, you were involved in founding this place, and I want to know, I mean, it's a small place today, but do you have some future aspirations to expand this place or build a new place?
Yeah, I'm a briefly touch on a little bit of history here. Myself and about 5 other brothers or so had sat down one day and discussed the need for a mosque in the west end of Richmond. The original intention was to be for those who lived in this area and for those who worked in this area who it was too much of a hardship to go back across the river to Surfside, you know, a 20-minute trip depending on the traffic to go to Juma, because there was no place here. So that's what it was designed for. And the first Juma, I think, was about 12 people. The next Juma, the whole entire room was filled up, and the Juma after that, basically, it was running out the doors. And that was actually about a road or two over, next road over. We lost that place because the Home Depot purchased that area to build a store on. So we located here and rented the house right next to it, and we have communication wires between the two so that you can hear the khutbah and everything going on. Anyway, it's kind of spilled outside in the back. As you saw, we were here earlier. We had tents out in the back, people to pray in. And on Fridays, that's still not enough room. There's a lot of people just praying out in the open. And we've purchased a piece of property and got in contract. We're right now negotiating with the county on a lot of aspects of building it. We're going to be building a full-scale masjid, but another 10 miles west of here.
Sure.
Inshallah. And right now there's a house on the property which we'll probably end up using temporarily until we build the main structure. We've got like some preliminary plans of basically what it's going to look like and everything. So.
Okay, well, Brother Dawood, really I appreciate you sitting with us and sharing your story about how you came to Islam. And alhamdulillah, really, it's a very nice story. But before we conclude here, I'd just like to know from you in your many years as being a Muslim here in America, what do you feel is the future outlook for Islam here in America?
I feel it's looking good. Even though 9/11 was a very tragic thing and everything, at least the good thing of it was that it brought to people's attention what Islam was. Because people were afraid of what happened, they were seeking information, and they found out that, you know, that the good majority of Muslims are actually really, really very good, nice people. And I've met so many non-Muslims that just really were so helpful after 9/11. We had some threats here at this mosque right after 9/11, which prompted myself and some others to form a security detail, which we still do that today on Jummah. And we had a Unitarian church come out, and they put themselves in the potential line of fire to protect us, unsolicited. And I walked up to them, and I had some body armor on underneath.
Now, what's this body armor to?
It was I was, you know, let's put it this way, you know, if something were to happen, somebody needs to be able to still function, if you know what I mean. And I walked up to the pastor of that church and the other people. I said, listen, I really appreciate what y'all are doing here. I said, but I'm hoping that we're not going to have any trouble here. But if we do, I don't want your people in the line of fire. This is not your fight. You know, I said, I really appreciate it. But if anything happens, I said, I need for y'all to run. I said, let me and these other brothers take care of it. I said, you know, we've got 911 programs on our telephones, because we had actually called the police to ask for an assistance, and they said they couldn't come out unless something happened. So we decided to be a little bit more proactive, and we just set up a perimeter watch and being mindful, but nothing ever came up. Most people just were blowing off steam that called the mosque. It was just one of those spur-of-the-moment things. But like I said, that's just one example of a lot of people that I've met that were really good to us. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of good happen, as well as a lot of not-so-nice things happen. But I think the good has outweighed the bad. And I do believe that people in general, especially if you want to take a look at Muslims, Christians, and Jews in particular, we're all derived from the same faith, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All right? And if the other two groups, talking Christians and Jews, really start looking deeply inside their faith, they know where their duty lies. You know, it isn't fighting anybody. It's like working together. The Christians in particular are the best ones. You know, most of them are very tolerant that I've seen, and I've had lots of dialogue with several over the past several years. But I think the situation of Muslims in this country is looking good.
All right, Brother Dawood, thank you very much for sitting with me and sharing your story with the Muslims in the world. And I hope that our viewers were able to get some more insight into what life is like for Muslims here in the United States of America. And I invite you to continue with me as I travel throughout the world of Islam.
I hope we've been able to separate the fact from the fiction, the truth from the falsehood, and the myths from the realities, and leave you with a positive understanding about Islam and Muslims. And you're invited to join us as we continue to travel throughout the world of Islam, keeping it real by telling the stories which must be told. And we ask you all to remember the very important rule: don't judge Islam by the people, but judge the people by Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله